The history of our society is born and developed through written words. The graphical representation of number first and then of language gave rise to writing. It has spanned millennia, vast geographical areas, and involved all the populations concerned. Turning sounds into signs meant bringing history to life. Man has always had the desire and the need to communicate, both for an emotional and a practical necessity for survival. Since the first signs engraved on rock, man has never stopped expressing himself. He has done so using written words so that they can be remembered, transmitted. Communicating is not, however, always synonymous with understanding. The different languages and respective alphabets used can be an obstacle if not properly and correctly translated into the target language. Verbal communication, in order to be efficient and reach everyone, will necessarily have to be supported by written communication. What happens when words written in one language accompany sounds and images belonging to another? A foreign language video can be translated using subtitles, thus allowing anyone to understand. What are subtitles? When did they first appear? How are they applied? Subtitles are written text supporting the understanding of an audiovisual message. Since the birth of sound cinema, the film industry has been faced with the problem of language barriers, which made the product marketable only within the borders of the language in which it was filmed. Dialogues have always played a key role in films, as conversation is the most important vehicle for the plot to unfold. Over the years, and with the development of new technologies, audiovisual translation appeared. The term audiovisual translation refers to a set of stratagems used to make audiovisual products accessible to speakers of languages other than the original language. There are several forms of audiovisual translation, one of which is subtitling. Subtitling is not the exact transposition of a spoken text, but the product of a much more complex work of adapting it to a written code, taking into account numerous parameters such as the rhythm of pitch, the author's register, and space limitations. Right from the start, a clear distinction emerged between the figure of the translator and that of the subtitler. The latter must comply with unavoidable rules and restrictions. This determines his translation choices and the final rendering of the text in the receiving language, which is inevitably adapted. Experts say that the subtitler must be subject to restrictions regarding the arrangement of the subtitles on the screen, the space they can occupy on the screen, the length of the lines, and finally the exposure time on the screen. In addition, he must certainly be a good translator, but also an expert in particular technical programs for creating subtitles, a technology expert, an adapter and synthesizer of dialogues in both mother tongue and foreign languages. Subtitling is one of the translation jobs that has grown rapidly in recent years, thanks to the success of streaming platforms such as Netflix. The content on these platforms reaches millions of users around the world speaking dozens of different languages. Very often, those who produce the subtitles in the same language as the actors are speaking are forced to rework the lines due to the length of the sentences and the average reading speed of the user. Reading subtitles while watching a film is in fact a mental task that requires attention and a longer period of time than simply listening to the conversation. The good final result must necessarily be the sum of technique, culture, and emotion. Subtitles not only allow various users from all over the world to enjoy the many products on the market, bringing different cultures closer together, but are also crucial in helping the hearing impaired not to feel totally excluded. The importance of this service thus becomes a social and respect issue and requires even more specific and special rules. The hope is that with increasingly sophisticated technological development, targeted research, and the professional training of the subtitler, we will be able to optimize this indispensable service. Rendering emotions through subtitles is an art that requires deep knowledge of languages, cultures, and applied technology.